Oh, hello. It said we were currently unavailable, but we're live. Welcome back to What's On Doctor Who on Twitch today. That's probably not the actual name because it's such a long and wieldy name, and we shouldn't do this bit every time. But hey, welcome back to the show. My eyebrows are going a little bit mental. What do we have on Twitch on the Doctor Who? Tonight we've got the Pirate Planet 3 episodes. So the last 3 episodes of the Pirate Planet, you got Stones of Blood, you got the Androids of Tara, you got your Power of Crawl, Craig. Yeah, you got your Armageddon Factor, you got your Destiny of the Daleks, and you got your City of Death. I didn't say the number of episodes there because I somehow forgot. Yeah, it's a good night. It's another mixed bag. You've got your late Fourth Doctor era on the go, so a lot of people can take or leave that. Really, I think there's some gems to be found. You've got your it's basically the second half of the Key to Time arc tonight. You've got your you've got your Pirate Planet, your Stones of Blood, your Androids of Tara, Power Crawl, and the Armageddon Factor. It's most of the Key to Time arc, to be honest. And then a wee capper where you've got your Destiny of the Daleks, and your City of Death. I've got some things to talk about. It's not going to be one of those nights where it's like I've basically not seen all of these episodes, so I'm just going to make up rubbish. But Stones of Blood is the one where there are stones and there are blood. I've only seen it the once. I want to say I saw a little bit of it last year. I saw a teeny little relishy garnish of it last year on Twitch, which was enough for me, honestly. I should probably make the effort tonight. I think it's on right now while we're streaming. After this, I should probably go watch it. I remember watching it when I got the DVD to the Key to Time, as we talked about last episode. There's like stones, and I know I'm just going to keep saying there are stones in their blood. It's the one with Stonehenge. You'd think that Doctor Who would get more into Stonehenge being a thing, and I know the Pandora opens kind of claimed that in the modern kind of classic Who's sense, but yeah, classic Who has a Stonehenge episode. You'd think they'd be more into it, really. It's like one of those kind of classic-y mystical mythology things that you'd think a time travel show would do more with. But Stone's Blood is the place for that to happen. I can't remember. I feel like spoilers for the Stones of Blood, but I feel like there's like a sci-fi thing, or it's like it's a kind of fantasy thing, and then it takes like a sci-fi twist. I think this is going to be the episodes where it's like I've not actually seen this one that much, so I can't really give much of opinion on it. I feel like the stones themselves, the Stones of Blood, if I'm thinking of the right thing, are pretty cool because they are just giant stones that like advance on people menacingly. Honestly, I can't really remember what Tom Baker gets up to in Stones of Blood. Like a lot of the episodes, a lot of Doctor Who is like, what did the Doctor do that episode? I couldn't tell you. Like, if you told me that like Stones of Blood was not a Fourth Doctor episode, I would kind of believe you for a hot second before I was like, wait, no, that's a Key to Time thing. It's a Fourth Doctor thing. He's definitely in there. He definitely gets up to stuff. I couldn't tell you what though. Androids of Tara is another one that I was prepared to say that I hadn't seen, but I had a wee quick Google before this, and I totally watched like all of it last year. So that's kind of an indication of the impact that it left on me. Not to say that it's bad, but it was like another one of these like space historicals. Like it's not historical, but it's very like Italian fantasy kind of thing going on, but like in space, but like to the point where it is a space thing. It isn't set on Earth, but it is basically historical. Like I can't remember what the conflict is. I feel like it's the episode in the Key to Time saga where Romana like steps out of the TARDIS and then like immediately finds the key to time, and then Like, that's the conflict of the episode, isn't what is the key to time or how do I find the key to time. Romana's just like, I'm just going to go rake for it with my device. And she does. And she finds it. And then the conflict is like getting it back like to the TARDIS because they go on an adventure. I feel like the Doctor's just having a wee sleep, to be honest. I feel like he has a wee sleep at the start of the episode. And then like Romana's like, I'm just going to go have a rake, Doctor. Because like you're no trying. You're clearly no trying. So I'm going to have to do it. And I feel like it's a wee gargoyle, a gargle that she like picks up, and then I can't remember if she's like kidnapped. I imagine she's imprisoned at some point because that happens every episode of Classic Who. Someone somewhere is imprisoned. So I'm going to say she gets imprisoned for, let's say, being a lady because it's like the future past. That's kind of my main memories of the androids of Tara. Really. Oh, is that? Yeah, there's like an android. There's like a king, and like they have to pretend that the android is the king because he's like a duplicate of the king. It's all that kind of stuff. If you like kind of like mistaken identity, fantasy, I want to say Italian-y kind of stuff, it's probably going to be a jam. It's not my favorite of the Key to Time saga, mainly because I didn't remember it existed until I quickly Googled before this. After you get your android Tara, you got your power of Crawl, and I talked about it a little last episode, but Power of Crawl is the one I always remember from the Key to Time. I feel like it's the one that no one likes and is probably the least impactful one, or the least meaningful one, the least, the one with the least merit. But there's something about it. Like, as a child, I was deeply drawn to the offshore oil rig platform drilling thing and the green folk, the green natives. They're very like 70s budget natives, and they're probably quite offensive, to be honest, if you go back and look at it. If you're watching it now, Guy has a shout. The chat is working, so Guy's a blast in the chat if you think the natives from the Power of Crawl are offensive, because, like, without checking, they probably are. But there's like solid tropes going on there. I'm pretty sure Romana gets like sacrificed to like the giant tentacle monster at some point. Like, that might be the episode 1 cliffhanger, or at least something near to the episode 1 cliffhanger. There's a giant like octopus monster. Like, I don't quite know what you want if that's not what you want from your like naff 70s sci-fi shows. I feel like the model work. This is something that I regret not talking about enough in these videos, but the model work I thought was pretty good for the time and the budget. I know they probably just took some sprues and glued them together and put like those sprues on little stilts and then threw water at it, but I thought that was quite convincing. Honestly, as a youth, definitely, I was well into the sense of place that those model works conveyed. And even last year, I thought it still looked pretty good. I don't have it to hand to contradict my opinion, but I want to say it looked good. And then like there's like a kind of swampy kind of vibe, a lot of swamp boats, like gun runners on swamp boats, and has the giant octopus like swallowed the key to time, I want to say. It's hitting all the tropes that you want it to. So it's basic and probably quite dull, but I love it, and I might go watch it tonight if the mood so takes me. What is after Crawl? This is where I fall down again, because the Armageddon Factor is not one that I really remember. Honestly, it's the finale to the Key to Time thing, and I remember it basically being the finale, and not like, other than it like having a character. Like, the actress that plays Romana 2 is in the Armageddon Factor, and she interacts with like Romana and stuff. And they hand wave it in the next episode when Romana regenerates that like she just like chose to look like someone that she's already met. It's a nightmare if you actually want to think about continuity in Classic Who and like the capabilities of Time Lords, and like, we should probably talk about that in Destiny, Alex. But like, yeah, the actress that plays Romana 2 is in Armageddon Factor, and she plays like a space princess. And I won't spoil stuff about her character, I guess, because people are probably watching these episodes for the first time. But yeah, I think the Key to Time thing is a weird anomaly in Classic Who. It's like an ongoing saga. They probably should have done more stuff like it. I don't know if it was successful for them at the time, but it's definitely cool. I know E-Space is kind of the same thing later on, but a little bit shorter, which probably the Key to Time could probably like do with being. I haven't actually sat down to watch the Key to Time since I got the Key to Time in like 2000 and whatever. Like I've not sat back to back, just blocks. If you are doing that on the Twitch, let me know and let me know how that experience is. Like, is it a slog? I don't remember it being a slog, but there's like thinking about these episodes and talking about these episodes individually. I'm like, yeah, I probably would skip, say, the androids of Tara or whatever. I imagine a lot of people will say we'll skip Crawl because it's dull, but it's got that giant squid monster in there. They clearly had like a vision for the giant squid monster. Destiny. This is where it gets fun on the last 2 episodes of the night. Destiny of the Daleks. I'll have it said. Destiny of the Daleks is a banger. It's an absolute banger. Like, I know it's probably considered one of the worst Dalek episodes, okay? But I love it. And it is a Stockholm Syndrome kind of thing, because it's probably one of the Dalek episodes that I've seen most. And I can't like a lot of the times I just put it on and like let it go on in the background. I just love everything about it. It's very standard Who, like it's set in a quarry. It's like the sequel to Destiny. It's the sequel to Genesis, basically. And it's kind of the start of the downfall of the Daleks. You can say that probably happened before, but then they got better with Genesis and that. But like after Genesis, every classic Dalek story is a Davros story. And I can probably talk about that here because I'm pretty sure they're still not showing those other Doctors' Dalek stories because of the Nation estate, I imagine. Are they on there? No, they don't look like they're on there. That's pretty bad. That's pretty, like, come on, Nation State. Why wouldn't you want to see Resurrection of the Daleks or Big Remembrance? Like, just why are you holding out on us with Remembrance? It'd be such a good capper, and like I feel like it'll like change the opinions because like even if the youth are watching these Twitch streams and they're loving them, they'd probably love them a lot more if 6 got his Dalek episode, or if 7 got his Dalek episode, his incredible era-defining Dalek episode. But no, you leave the last Dalek episode in the stream to be Destiny of the Daleks, which for me is incredible, but I imagine for a lot of people is infuriating. Destiny of the Daleks is quarry-based for most of its run. It's very like, it says it's written by Terry Nation, and I think it is the last Terry Nation. I know I've just gone on about it, but I'm pretty sure it's the last Terry Nation written thing in Who. It looks like it's been quite heavily edited by Douglas Adams because there's a lot of bants in there and a lot of bants and fun concepts, and the Daleks are kind of depicted as being robots. They're like, I'm into it. I'm into it as a thing. Like, I don't want them to be robots like as their main thing, but I'm into them being robots in that episode. Like, I enjoy that. Like, at least in some timeline or whatever, or in some place in time, the Daleks like got super into being cyborgs because they are cyborgs, and then like got super into that to the point where they became like unfeeling machines. And I know a lot of people. Someone made a good argument. I can't remember where it was. I don't know if it was in Doctor Who magazine or whatever. But someone made a good argument about how them being like that in Destiny is one of the most hateful things because like it robs the Daleks of their hate. Because if they're like computer don't understand emotion things, then they can't be like psychopathic hate machines because they are just like pure logic or whatever. And I could totally agree with that, but I think it's a valid thing for the Daleks to be up to in an episode, and like that might come from like Terry Nation not really caring about the script, just doing it for Smoke's money, I would imagine at that point. It might come from Douglas Adams. I'd assume he'd be into Daleks, so I don't know why he would change it that well, but him having maybe a story he wanted to tell about machines, specifically disco machines, because Destiny of the Daleks is about It's about the Daleks being at war with this race of disco people called the Mavellans, and they're very disco. And I know I've described a lot of things in 70s Who as being the most disco thing, but the Mavellans are like up there. They are definitely one of the most 70s disco things in Who. They've got like mop. I guess they're meant to be dreadlocks, but they're very much like mop heads, and they've got like wee pink triangle guns and like jumpsuits, and they're like Vulcans, but spoilers, they're robots. Like it's a good scene as well. Like where like it's kind of revealed the robots, and like the Doctor's like, of course the robots. Of course the robots. Like how are you surprised by this character? I can't remember if it's like Romana or that one man that they find in the quarry who looks like a ghoul. He looks like Lurch. He's incredibly tall, but a top lad. There's a lot of like Romana being stalked by this guy for at least the first episode, and it's like, oh, what's this ghoul doing on this planet? He's got a menacer, and then no, he's just a lad. Like he's just a cool guy. He looks like he's been living in the quarry forever. It's Scarrow as well. It's another Scarrow set Dalek episode. Is it the last Scarrow set Dalek episode? Probably in Classic Who. It's an incredible quarry. I stand by that quarry. It's one of, if I had to pick top 10 quarries in Doctor Who, I would probably say Destiny of the Daleks quarry is up there. It's a good rubble-strewn wasteland. I enjoy the quarry's depiction of a depleted, desolate Scarrow, because Scarrow is like this nuclear wasteland, and like the use of the quarry makes it feel like it has been a nuclear wasteland for hundreds of years and whatnot, but with like time's moved on, and it's just this kind of broken, desiccated husk of a world that's clearly a quarry somewhere. The actor that they get to play Davros is not the same as the actor from Genesis of the Daleks, and I'm entirely fine with that. Again, because I've seen Destiny of the Daleks more than any other Dalek episode, I want to say I feel like he's kind of my Davros. I'm big into Terry Malloy's Davros from the next 3 stories that you won't be seeing on this Twitch marathon. He's really, really good at him. But whatever thin man they get to play him in Destiny is pretty good. He's serviceable, I want to say. I feel like people are like really let down by him because he's like, oh, he's not the one from Genesis. And it's like, it's fine. Like he does play an incredible part in Genesis, and I'm going to take that away from him or whatever. But like, it's literally fine. Like, and the Daleks themselves look pretty cheap, very flimsy. There's a scene where they break through a wall that comes to mind that's pretty poor. It's meant to be like this big thick wall, but it's clearly just like wibbly plastic that just doesn't even shatter, just like tears, and they just like come trundling through. And the Doctor's making a lot of jokes at the expense of the Daleks. He makes the climb upstairs joke basically. So like I feel like people don't take that well. It's fine. I think it's in character for 4 specifically, and I think it's the first outing of Romana 2 as well. Romana regenerates off screen at the start of this episode. She like walks in, and there's like a comedy bit where she tries on different bodies, and that was probably hilarious in the 70s, and probably was fine because no one was keeping thousands of people were like well into the continuity of Doctor Who, but no one was really keeping super track of like Time Lord biology or whatever. It didn't really mean what it meant back then, I'd imagine. But yeah, she tries on multiple bodies, which is a genuine nightmare if you want to square away what she does in that episode with, canon. And the Doctor, like, he doesn't like a lot of them, and like one of them is like an Amazon like warrior lady who's like giant, but that seems like it would have been fun. That seems like it would have been a good like time to cut about with through space and time in that. But no, he's like just turn into like that princess that we met last episode, or she does. I really like Romana 2's wardrobe design. This is like the first time I've commented on this in decades in these videos, but she wears like a girl version of Tom Baker's then outfit, not the one you think of when you think of the 4th Doctor, but he's like long coat. And I like yes, it's probably silly that it's like a pink girl version of his coat, but it does hammer home the fact that she's meant to be like his equal or whatever, or meant to be in 70s terms his equal, and like they're both Time Lords / Time Ladies, and they're cutting about having a great time. I like Romana 2 a lot more than Romana 1. I think she's more memorable. I don't know what I'd really ascribe those traits to be, but I think of her when I think of Romana, really. They probably get about the same amount of episodes, to be honest, but do they get like one season each? Maybe Romana 2 gets a little bit more than that, but yeah, I think she's pretty good. She like, it's the 70s, so she's always still going to be like screaming for help, but she gets a lot of like, she fakes her death in the middle of this episode to get away from the Daleks. She just like stops her hearts, and like they bury her in like the irradiated rubble of Scarrow, and then the Doctor's like finds her tombstone, and she's like, "Oh no, Romana's dead," and she's like, "No, I'm fine. I stopped my hearts. Time Lord, it's cool." So like, there's stuff like that if you're looking out for good companion work. The Daleks become like suicide bombers at one point. It's pretty good. They have these wee yellow canisters, or like, I assume they were like, fizzy pop cans that they glued to them. And I feel like that's not the best use of your like tanks. Your like your single man tanks. Like, they have guns. They send them to like go explode at the Movellan spaceship, and then they get exploded sooner than that, and they explode in a quarry. And I imagine they either blew up one of their flimsy 70s Dalek models, or they just got like a wee model and blew them all up. Again, as a youth, thought that was pretty convincing. Thought that was genuinely, it's a memorable moment from Classic Who, as those suiciding Dalek people. I just want to watch Destiny of the Daleks, and I'll probably go watch it right now, to be fair, after this. I'll not wait for Twitch. I'll fire on the old DVD. The thing with the Daleks is that they're machines, and they're fighting the disco robots, and then like the whole thing is like, they're two machines at war for centuries because they're trying to predict the best move, and like they're both trying to predict the best move, so no one's going to make the first move, and then like it's that kind of a vibe. It's not specifically what the Daleks are, because like if you thought about that, the Daleks would be like, what? Predicting the best move? Just get in there, like just send all the lads, send all the drones down, right? Attack them, and then like attack them again, and then see how it goes. But for the story, I think it works in the stories. Favor, shall we say? The next story, which is the story you get to end out the night, which I think is a full story. It's 4 episodes of Big City of Death. City of Death, I'm pretty sure, has the highest viewership of any classic Doctor Who, because there was a strike on ITV at the time. So literally the only thing to watch was the BBC, and either BBC One or BBC Two, I believe. So your choices were quite limited. So it's not the most noble viewing figure, but it's a thing that happened. Was it like 16 million people or something watched City of Death? City of Death it's quite fortunate, because City of Death is great. It's like it's Douglas Adams doing the most Douglas Adams stuff in his Who work, because he was like script editor, was he showrunner, script editor, something like that. There's a lot of things. I've got the book, I think, to City of Death. Where is it? Yeah, they did a novelization of City of Death a while back. It's quite good. I think the book goes into more depth on a lot of stuff. It's like, I wouldn't say padded, but books, you've got an opportunity to do more things with them. City of Death, I will always remember for the tentacle-faced man, like in a lovely like 70s suit, like something you would see Roger Moore wearing, but with a lovely, like, just imagine a 70s Roger Moore white suit with a Tangela face and just a menacing white eyeball. That's quite a vivid and long-lasting image in my brain, actually. And the spaceship from City of Death, is it on here? It might not be on here, but the spaceship is a great model. It's a ball. It's like a ball on like a tripod, and it's trying to take off at like the dawn of time, I want to say. And like, I feel like it's a great example of like timey-wimey stuff in Classic Who, because the villain, I feel like he exists at multiple points in space and time at once because, like, is he called the Jaggerfest or like the Jagoon, the Jagger? Let's have a wee look here. I think it's on like page 1. Jaggeroth, the Jaggeroth. They're like some random space dudes in their spaceship, and they're like trying to like their like spaceship is like broken, their motor is like broken, and they're trying to take off from prehistoric Earth. And they're like, no, I'll just go to hyperspace, like because they're like orcs. They're just like weirdly angry all of the time, and they're like, no, like we're not going to fix anything anymore. Just go. And they're like their hyperspace thing goes mad and breaks space and time apart, and they all die but don't die. And I think he's trying to build a time machine or something. It's been ages since I've like properly watched City of Death. Like I enjoyed it last year on the Twitch stream, but I was mostly asleep at the time, and I was just taking it in vague visuals and not audio. There's great like Da Vinci stuff and like Mona Lisa stuff. The Fourth Doctor might be at his most Fourth Doctory here. They're cutting about Paris as well. Like it's a Doctor Who set in, or even filmed in like a foreign location. Those kind of episodes start to skyrocket from here on out. I want to say it's quite a vibe watching Tom Baker and Romana cut about 70s Paris. Like, is it 79? 76? Something like that. It looks quite grim in like a 70s kind of way, but it's also Paris, so it's quite nice. And it's a very, I hesitate to say mindery kind of plot, but there's a lot of kind of there's like a detective that thinks with his fists. It's kind of like Lupin the Third, really, to be honest. If you ever saw the anime series Lupin the Third, there's a certain kind of 70s detective kind of thing about that. I like Cities of Death if I didn't have my biases, I would definitely pick Cities of Death as my like number one pick of the night. But I do have my biases, and my pick of the night goes to Destiny of the Daleks. If you've no seen Destiny of the Daleks, right, I've got a wee experiment for you. If you watch it tonight or tomorrow, whenever you get the chance, tell me if it feels pink to you, because like it feels, when I think of Destiny of the Daleks, it feels pink in my mind because I've stared at the DVD cover forever, and the DVD is very pink, and I think I know why it's pink. But go into it kind of blind and tell me if you think Destiny of the Daleks makes you think of pink, not the singer, the color. Also, what's our monster of the night going to be? What have we got? Pirate Planet, so that was last night. Stones of Blood does have those giant stones that I kind of love. Android Tara. The Power of it's quite a hard one because Power of Crawl does have that giant squid monster, which would normally win. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go. I think we've learned a lot from this series, and I think it's just go with your biases. Which because these episodes are in here, like the Daleks are there, but we exclude the Daleks because they play the game too well, as they said about them in bloody The Five Doctors. I don't even think The Five Doctors is on this stream. It's a weird mismatch. I don't like it. But they play the game too well, do the Daleks. So the Daleks are out. Monster of the Night goes to Crawl. I think the octopus is called Crawl. The squid octopus monster thing. How do you say no to a giant like tentacle monster? You don't. It's crazy. It's great. And episode of the night is Destiny of the Daleks because I've seen it a billion times. Yay for Stockholm Syndrome. Yay for not like watching new things, basically. Thanks for watching. It's been a good time bantering away. If you didn't know, yesterday we did a big Pokemon hangout where I sat here for quite a long time and talked about Pokemon, Happy Meals, how Happy Meals used to be better, and such. If you didn't see it, I'd recommend it. It was some good content. We're really going up in the world with chat and viewer call-ins. Like, comment, and subscribe. Also, I get to say the thing, ring the wee bell up there. See the bell? You have to touch the bell, so that means you'll be notified when we do these. I'll go live, and I'll like vomit forth onto your screen. Other than that, we do have a Patreon. It's not properly up and running. It's got a lot of placeholder stuff, but like if you want to use the dollar, go and use the dollar. We've got some goals. Our first goal is to raise £1 or £2 to get a bulb, and then we'll take it from there, I think. So yeah, thanks for watching. There'll probably be more streams. I don't know if I'll do another stream tonight, because last night kind of took it out of me, and I had a lot of fun doing it, but I don't want to wear myself too thin. But yes, thanks for watching. I'm going to end this, at some point we'll get a remote and it'll be easier, but it's just going to be awkward while